Hi folks, it's Chris here, chatting to you on my lunch break. So I wanted to do a sort of update on the game and give you an example of how I've been playing it and setting it up. Everything that I'm going to talk about here is on the main rules page, which will be dropped in the link in the comments. But yeah, here's basically how I sort of started the setup for a campaign. So what I wanted to do is tie a bunch of games together as I sort of continuously play, and I'll share each of those probably once a week. But to start with, I just used the basic Oracle to give me some setup questions for the campaign. So how these worlds are going to sort of interact with each other. I've described each genre as a realm just to make it easier for me. And I just sort of set 4 or 5 questions in my head. And based on the sort of outcome of the Oracle rolls, I was then able to get a bit of an overview for the world. So, simple question. Are the realms aware of each other? Yes, they are. So they're going to interact, and it's going to be something that will probably come up a lot. I'll try and reuse some characters as I get sort of roles that fit that. But yep, they're aware of each other. Are the realms on peaceful terms? No. This was a no and they are actually in active conflict. I took that as, so warring between realms, general bad vibes all round. So yeah, that should be interesting. Are adventure guilds raiding neighbouring realms for loot, tech, sport or resources? No but. Barriers are crossed occasionally, but some adventurers will cross to retrieve items for buyers. And I named these realm walkers. So in my head, the characters I'll be playing are going to be part of this sort of realm walker group that are paid by mercenaries, nobles, whoever I roll up, to dip in and out of each other's realms or kind of hunt around in their own realm to find relics or items of power or antiquity. We'll see what these items are as and when they roll up. And the final question I asked were, are realm walkers accepted in all realms? And the answer to this was yes, but. So the but to me means people know about them but don't approve. So I've put they operate in secret and are at risk of death if caught in another realm. Most realm walkers tend to try to gather artifacts for their own realm for safekeeping. So in my head, you've got this sort of bunch of items and artifacts that are coveted, and you can either choose to try and track some down where you're from to protect them, or you can maybe try and steal them from somewhere else at higher risk, but obviously that will be at higher reward. So that's it. That's the setup for the campaign. 4 questions, 4 roles, gave me a kind of overview with a bit of improv, and sets me up nicely for my first game. Now I've put all the notes down of the game in the adventure journal. I'll be keeping track of my adventurers, obviously, how much gold and HP they have at the sort of end of each adventure. I'll keep a track of any NPCs they run into, and also any loot, whether that's gold, artifacts. I'll kind of just decide that on the fly, what they find classified as loot, depending on where in the narrative things are. But yeah, so game 1. As usual, setting up a game of six basic roles to give you all the information you need to get going and to start. So role 1, setting, fantasy, great. It's kind of what I was aiming for in a first role. Keep it that kind of Dungeons and Dragons style world. So the hero, I rolled a mage. So the mages have the ability that they can burn a gold to get a reroll. Could be classed as cheating, but let's just say it's them bending the fabric of reality. Why not? Third role was our quest, which was to rescue someone. Fourth role was our HP, which we got 3. So, you know, not bad. Average, middle. And GP, we started well. We started with a 6. So gold or gold points, we started with 6. So, again, to set up, wanted to ask a couple of questions. I tend to try and keep this to a maximum of 3 or 4 because I don't want to just spend hours rolling oracles. So, first of all, I named my guy. Just grabbed the name from a random generator. So we went with Delnar. So Delnar the Mage. Does he know who he's trying to rescue? No, he doesn't. And I actually decided, because he doesn't know, that he's been sent against his will to do this. Is the person a threat to Delnar? No. But Delnar is not a fan. So Delnar knows of who they're trying to rescue. Not personally, but yeah, we'll see what comes of that. So they don't know who they are. They don't think they're a threat, but yeah, maybe they're just not keen on the idea of saving whoever this is. And finally I asked, as he didn't know who they were or whether they were a threat, is he being blackmailed into it? So that was a no, but their employer has something Delnar needs. And so I just came up with Delnar's looking for some information on a local artifact, and so he has been persuaded to go and rescue someone that might have that information. So the final role of the setup is always the first steps, which gives you your mapping, and I actually rolled up a large room just straight away, straight off the bat, so that's 2 events, and I rolled up some loot. Nice start. So I just rolled a dice for that, single d6, and I got 1 extra gold. Tidy sum, that puts me up 7. And then I also rolled a monster. So to try and pad it out, rather than just chucking dice, I like to try and ad-lib and kind of ask questions. So, does the monster hear Delnar entering? And this gave it a no, which meant I had the advantage to attack first. Generally, I always play it that we do the player always attacks first anyway, but it's nice to just add that bit of narrative and kind of get the image in your head. So yeah, then I've just described it. I might do other videos where I narrate, but I wanted to keep this short. So yeah, then went on to combat. So I rolled a 2. So I used a gold to re-roll it to give myself a 5, which was then a success. Then narrate that, you know, envision it in your head, you know, how does a wizard take down a goblin that's unaware of him? Is this a goblin? Haven't really decided that. I kind of gave a brief description that sounds a bit like a goblin, but there we go. And then I realised I wanted to ask a quick question, which was, what is this dungeon? Like, where am I? So I just asked the question, is the dungeon underground? So is it a cave system or is it like a fortress? And I got a no. So I put that it's a well-guarded fortress or stronghold. So then we went into a bunch of mapping rolls. So we got a T-junction, rolled a d6 to decide whether we want to go left or right. Took a left, a couple more lefts, so we're sort of spinning round. This is when I activated the endless corridors, which is if you get 3 corridors in a row, just roll for a room, because otherwise you could be mapping for hours. If that's something you want to do, by all means ignore this rule, but this is just for me, so I can play it on my lunch and I can sort of blast through, you know, within 10-15 minutes. I think this whole game took me like 20 minutes to play, half an hour on my lunch. But yeah, so I rolled up a small room which contains an NPC. Obviously, rescue mission, your aim is to find an NPC. So that could be game over, mission complete, well done us, pat on the back, we found some gold, we killed a monster, we rescued the person. However, I was only 5 minutes into my lunch, so to make this kind of bit more interesting, I asked some questions about the target or the NPC I found. Are they male or female? No. Quick Google check for a name generator, came up with Lorena. Does she have the information on her that we were sent in? Yes. Is the way back safe? No. Then I decided to keep it going, to roll up a new quest. So this time I got a remove, which is to kill a dice roll of monsters. Normally it's 3 to 5, but keep it interesting, rolled a 4. So I then wanted to ask, which realm is the artifact in? So it started out that I thought I was searching for something within my own realm. But this NPC has told me that the thing I'm searching for is in a different realm. It's in the cyberpunk realm. So then I narrated that and then went back to mapping. We have a left turn, straight into a large room with 2 more events. Another NPC. Came up with another NPC. This I put as a prisoner who's a merchant. Who was sort of grabbed by these creatures and, Delnar offers to help them out. There's also a trap, so, combine the two, the NPC's kind of in a trap and we have to try and save them. And we were successful, but we took a hit, took an injury, puts our HP at 2. So we're looking a bit ropey, but we're not too bad. NPC name generator came up with Kim. So Kim is a merchant who Delnar offers to help. Then some more mapping. We have a right turn, a left turn, another left turn. Again, endless corridors gave us a small room with a trap. Straight away we were successful. I like to play it if I roll a straight 6 on a challenge. Gives me the opportunity to see if there's a secret by rolling on the oracle. So I rolled to see if there was a secret. Yes, but it's guarded by a goblin. Is the secret a faster exit? No. But it is a quicker way out. Next room, I decided I was going to say that I'd wrap it up. So we took a left turn, T-junction. Quick oracle. Is the room I'm looking for to the left? No. But then I decided, you know what? Maybe my NPC knows something I don't. So I put the Lorena knows there might be more supplies nearby, and as we're a bit injured, maybe some supplies would be helpful. So do we choose to hunt for the secrets? Yes. Follow a straight corridor into a large room where there's another NPC, a final NPC, and a trap. Once again, we're trying to rescue this NPC. I just, envisioned who this might be and came up with a lord who says he knows the way out and he will show us the way and also pay us for helping him escape. So 1d6 coins. Gave us 4 more coins at a total of 11, so we're looking pretty good financially. And yeah, straight success, another 6. So there is a secret. And I decided at this point, it's getting towards the end of my lunch, is it a secret exit? Yes, but there is a final guard blocking the way. So rolled for combat, rolled a 4, success with an injury, takes me down to 1 HP, so I decided to use a reroll spell, which is Delnar's ability as a mage. Spent a gold, put me at 10 total gold, but 5 means I was successful. Overcame the final creature, and Delnar, with 3 NPCs in tow, was able to escape. And that's it. That was a game. I'm going to pop up at the end of this little clip a picture of the map I drew. It's on the back of a post-it note. It's not the most artistically accurate or beautiful thing you'll ever see in life, but it goes to show that this game can be played with a pen, a scrap of paper, and a dice rolling app. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll keep up with the rest of the campaign as I play through. And yeah, see you soon. Cheers.